The enemy thought he won. He looked at what you've been through, what you've lost, what's been taken from you, and he celebrated. He thought the battles you've faced broke you. He thought the disappointments you've experienced defeated you. He thought the pain you've endured destroyed you. He counted you out. He wrote you off. He declared victory over your life. But he made one fatal mistake. He forgot who fights for you. He underestimated who stands with you. He didn't know that while he was celebrating his apparent victory, God was making his move. And that move changes everything. Can I tell you what I see right now? I see the enemy's celebration ending. I see his confidence crumbling. I see him realizing that what he thought was checkmate was actually God setting up the greatest comeback of your life. While he was focused on the battle he thought he won, God was positioning pieces on a board the enemy can't even see. While he was gloating over your losses, heaven was preparing your restoration. While he was convinced you were finished, God was declaring you're just getting started. I need you to understand something that's going to shift your entire perspective on what you've been through. Every attack you've survived, every battle you've endured, every loss you've experienced. It wasn't evidence that God abandoned you. It was evidence that the enemy feared you. People don't fight battles against those who pose no threat. The intensity of the warfare you faced is directly proportional to the significance of what you carry. The enemy didn't attack you because you're weak. He attacked you because he saw what God put in you. And he was terrified of what would happen if you ever realized your own power. But here's what the enemy didn't count on. Here's what he miscalculated. You didn't break. You didn't quit. You didn't give up. You're still here, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. And that wasn't your strength alone. That was God holding you when you had nothing left to hold on to. That was grace carrying you when you couldn't take another step. That was divine intervention keeping you alive when everything in you wanted to give up. And the fact that you're still here, still watching this, still open to hope, that's your first evidence that God just made his move. If you're feeling something rise up in your spirit right now, if there's a warrior awakening inside you that's been dormant, if you're sensing that this message is the beginning of your turnaround, type God is moving in the comments, because when you declare it, when you speak it, when you agree with what heaven is doing, you align yourself with the victory that's already been secured. Let me tell you what God's move looks like. What's happening right now that the enemy didn't see coming. What's being set in motion that's going to completely reverse everything the enemy thought he accomplished. First, restoration of what was stolen. Everything the enemy took from you, God is commanding to be returned. And not just returned, multiplied. The years the locusts ate, God is restoring. The opportunities you lost, God is replacing with better ones. The relationships that were destroyed, God is healing or replacing with deeper connections. The finances that were drained, God is refilling with supernatural provision. The joy that was stolen, God is releasing in measures you've never experienced. Within the next 45 days, you're going to see tangible evidence of restoration. Things you thought were gone forever are coming back. Better, bigger, more blessed than before. Second, exposure of the enemy's schemes. God is pulling back the curtain on every plot, every trap, every weapon that was formed against you. You're going to have moments of sudden clarity where you see exactly what the enemy was trying to do and exactly how God protected you from it. People who were working against you are going to be exposed. Situations that looked like setbacks are going to be revealed as divine protection, and doors that closed are going to make sense when you see what was behind them. And this exposure isn't just for your awareness, it's for your vindication. People who doubted you are going to see the truth. People who judged you are going to understand what you were really facing. Your name is about to be cleared in rooms you've never been in. Third, elevation beyond your current level. God isn't just bringing you back to where you were. He's taking you higher than you've ever been. The position the enemy tried to take from you, God has a better one prepared. The opportunity the enemy blocked, God has opened 10 more. The level you were fighting to maintain, God is promoting you past it. Within the next 60 days, you're going to receive opportunities, invitations, offers, connections that are so far beyond where you were that you'll recognize it could only be God. This isn't just recovery. This is acceleration. This isn't just survival. This is thriving at a level that makes no natural sense. Fourth, anointing for your next assignment. God is releasing a fresh anointing over your life right now, not just to survive, but to help others survive. Not just to overcome, but to teach others how to overcome. Not just to be victorious, but to lead others to victory. The pain you've been through wasn't wasted, it was training. The battles you fought weren't random, they were preparation. And now, with this fresh anointing, you're about to step into an assignment that's bigger than you, more significant than you imagined, more impactful than you dreamed. Your greatest ministry is about to flow from your deepest pain. Type in the comments which one of these you need to see most: restoration, exposure, elevation, or anointing. Or type all four if you need God's move in every area. Because when you name it, when you claim it, when you declare what you're watching for, you position yourself to recognize it when it manifests. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Sarah. 3 years ago, she lost everything. Her business failed. Her marriage ended. Her health collapsed. Her reputation was destroyed by lies from people she trusted. The enemy looked at her situation and celebrated. She was broken, isolated, bankrupt, and sick. Everyone counted her out. Even she had almost given up. But she found a message about God making his move when the enemy thinks he's won. And something in her spirit came alive. Within 2 months, she discovered that the business partner who had destroyed her company had been exposed in a major fraud investigation. Everything he stole from her was not only returned, but she received additional compensation from the settlement. That was restoration. Within 4 months, the people who had spread lies about her were confronted with evidence of their deception. Her name was cleared publicly. Apologies came from unexpected places. That was exposure. Within 6 months, she was offered a position at a company she'd always dreamed of working for, at a salary triple what she'd made before. That was elevation. And within a year, she had started a non-profit helping women who had lost everything rebuild their lives. She was using her pain as a platform to help others. That was anointing. Today, 3 years later, she's thriving in ways she couldn't have imagined during her darkest moment. And she tells me, "The enemy thought he destroyed me. But God was just setting up my greatest comeback." That's the same move God is making in your life right now. What looks like defeat is being turned into victory. What appears to be the end is actually a new beginning. What the enemy celebrated as your destruction is about to become your testimony of resurrection. Would you hit the like button right now? Not for the algorithm, but as an act of defiance against the enemy, as a declaration that says you thought you won, but God just made his move. That simple action is spiritual warfare. It's you standing up. It's you refusing to stay down. It's you agreeing with victory while circumstances still look like defeat. Now let me tell you what you must do in response to God's move. Because heaven is moving, but you must participate. God is fighting, but you must stand. Victory is secured, but you must walk in it. 1. Shift your perspective. Stop looking at what was lost. Start looking for what's coming. Stop rehearsing the battle. Start declaring the victory. Stop seeing yourself as a victim. Start seeing yourself as more than a conqueror. The shift in your perspective triggers the shift in your reality. You don't change what you focus on by changing your circumstances. You change your circumstances by changing your focus. 2. Guard your mouth. The next season is critical for what you speak. Don't speak defeat. Don't speak doubt. Don't speak bitterness. Even when you don't see the evidence yet. Even when circumstances haven't changed. Even when people ask what's happening and nothing looks different, speak what God said, not what you see. Declare victory even in the middle of battle. Proclaim breakthrough even when obstacles remain. Your words are weapons. Use them wisely. 3. Take ground. Don't just stand, advance. There are territories the enemy took that you need to reclaim. Relationships you need to restore. Opportunities you need to pursue. Dreams you need to resurrect. Courage you need to recover. Start taking ground. One step at a time, one decision at a time, one act of faith at a time. God's move has created the opportunity. Your movement claims the territory. 4. Help someone else. Find one person who's in a battle similar to what you went through. One person who's facing defeat. One person who's about to give up. And help them. Share your story. Offer encouragement. Pray for them. Stand with them. Because there's a principle in the kingdom: what you make room for in others, you multiply in yourself. When you help someone else win, you accelerate your own victory. Type in the comments which one of these actions you're committing to. Shift perspective. Guard my mouth. Take ground. Or help someone. Or type all 4. Because public declaration creates accountability. It makes your commitment real. Would you share this video with one person right now? One specific person who's been in a battle and thinks the enemy won. That person who's about to surrender. That person who needs to hear that God is making his move. When you share this, you become part of their turnaround. You become the messenger of their victory. Let me tell you what's happening right now in the spiritual realm while you're hearing these words. Angels that were held back are being released. Weapons that were forged against you are being broken. Plans that were set in motion to destroy you are being dismantled. People who were positioned against you are being removed. Doors that were closed are being blown open. Blessings that were blocked are being released. And the enemy who thought he won is watching in horror as God makes move after move after move that completely reverses his apparent victory. This isn't just about you winning. This is about God being glorified. This isn't just about your comeback. This is about his faithfulness being displayed. This isn't just about your victory. This is about the enemy being reminded that he will never ever defeat the purposes of God in your life. And when your turnaround is complete, when your restoration is manifest, when your elevation is visible, everyone who watches is going to know that this wasn't luck, this wasn't coincidence, this was God. Now let me address the timeline, because I know you want to know when. When will I see the restoration? When will the exposure happen? When will the elevation come? When will I feel the anointing? And here's what I can tell you based on what I'm sensing in the spirit. It's closer than you think. Much closer. Some of you will see the first evidence within days, some within weeks, some within months, but all of you will see it. Because God's move has already been made. The wheels are already turning. The pieces are already in motion. But here's what you need to understand about divine timing. Sometimes the breakthrough you see first isn't the breakthrough you prayed for most. Sometimes God addresses one area to give you faith for another. Sometimes he starts with something small to prepare you for something big. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't dismiss early evidence. Celebrate every sign of God's move, no matter how small. Because the small thing is proof that the big thing is coming. Before we close, I want to pray over your victory. I speak defeat over every weapon formed against you. I declare that no plan of the enemy will prosper, that every trap is exposed, that every scheme is dismantled. I speak restoration over everything stolen. I declare that what was taken is being returned, that losses are being turned to gains, that what died is being resurrected. I speak exposure over hidden agendas. I declare that truth comes to light, that lies are revealed, that justice prevails, that your name is cleared. I speak elevation over your position. I declare that you rise above your current level, that promotion comes, That favor opens doors, that opportunities multiply. I speak anointing over your assignment. I declare that fresh power flows, that clarity comes, that purpose is revealed, that your greatest impact is ahead of you, and I speak confusion over the enemy's camp. I declare that his plans backfire, that his weapons miss, that his attacks fail, that he watches in frustration as God turns every battle into your victory. The enemy thought he won, but he was wrong. He miscalculated, he underestimated, he forgot who he was dealing with. And now he's about to watch as God makes move after move that completely reverses everything he thought he accomplished. This is your moment. This is your turnaround. This is your comeback. Not because you're strong enough, not because you're smart enough, not because you have it all figured out, but because God is making his move. And when God moves, nothing can stop it. No weapon can prevent it. No enemy can delay it. No circumstance can block it. The enemy thought he won, but God just made his move. And his move changes everything. So stand up, lift your head, square your shoulders, look the enemy in the eye and declare, you thought you won, but you were wrong. God is moving. My victory is secured. My restoration is coming. My elevation is here. My anointing is flowing. And there's nothing you can do to stop what God has started. This battle is over. And I won, not because of me, but because of the God who fights for me. Welcome to your victory. Welcome to your comeback. Welcome to the moment the enemy feared most. When God makes his move, it starts now.